these items are very expensive to replace. If we look at car keys, for instance, something else that you need to check is, does your insurance policy cover you for the replacement of your car keys?
Now, this is what I want to talk to you about, because one of my colleagues was at the gym. She had her gym bag stolen and her car keys went missing. And it was an extraordinary amount of money to have these car keys replaced, and she wasn't covered.
Oh, that's terrible. You know, and again, that's the whole thing about not all policies are created equal. So all we do is we look at the bottom line premium. Oh, this company is saving me 20% a month. What are you sacrificing in the 20%? Because it could be, it's all these extras, all these extra covers. Car keys are extremely expensive to replace, and if you look at the more high-end cars, you know, it becomes more and more expensive. And on the car keys, you would typically also have your office keys or your private home keys.
Yes, I usually just clip them together, and if I lost that...
And now I don't want to scare you, but if all of this is stolen, they know exactly where you live. They know how to get in, you know, if it's very easy to trace the home address, often from little pieces of information you carry on you.
My phone, for instance,
yes,
I suppose information would be there.
But in your, I can guarantee you that in your wallets there would be items that would, you know, whether it is a slip or an municipality account in your bag because you're on your way to pay it, or you want to pay at the office, do an EFT. And then people can get to your home and they can get access to your home. So typically we would insist on replacing all the keys and the locks on the property. And then of course you stand the risk of your car being stolen. It's important to remember though that if your car is stolen, subsequent to you losing your handbag with the keys, and your insurance claim would be covered. Because you know, the insurance company would then pay out. But it's very interesting. I mean, my prescription glasses can easily be 10,000 Rand if you've got bifocal glasses. Your sunglasses. I mean, we're looking here at 20,000–30,000 Rand. Have you got the right amount of cover in place? I don't think you do.
Think so.
Because most people don't. And then it's so personal. So now you start sacrificing. Okay, I won't replace the iPad, and I'll go and buy some cheaper makeup, and maybe I won't replace my engagement ring because I didn't have it specified. And yes, unfortunately, with jewelry is something else that we're heavily underinsured most of the time. So. Yes.
This is what I want to talk to you about. You mentioned having to pop off to the jeweler, and I'm so embarrassed because I have a little pouch from my jeweler right here.
I knew it.
For a piece of jewelry, here, his details, that I need to take back to him. Let's talk about this. The broken piece of jewelry is in here, and if it goes missing, of course, I need to have this insured.
Yes, so again, it'll be covered under your personal insurance. If you've got personal all risks insurance for 10,000 Rand, typically you would have a 2,500 Rand, 25% limit. And then you would normally have to specify items in excess of that limit to have the full cover for it. So, you know, if that item's worth 15,000 or 20,000, it would be specified. Now, this is where the problem comes in. We don't review our insurance policies. We don't read it, okay? And I understand people don't like reading contracts. But if you don't read your insurance policy and check it every year, just think about the impact of the slide of the Rand on the gold and platinum prices. And you know how the gold and platinum price fluctuates. So the metals and stones are determined and affected by the fluctuating exchange rate. Now, an item that you bought 2 or 3 years ago will be vastly underinsured right now, because to replace that item is affected by the gold and platinum rates, and also, like I said, the exchange rate. So people tend to not remember to revalue their jewelry. Now, this item that I paid for 15,000 Rand will cost 25,000 Rand to replace, but I only have it insured for 15. And unfortunately, then the frustration gets aimed at the insurance company because you're not paying my full claim. But actually, you should be reviewing your values every year. It doesn't cost a lot of money to have your items valued. Your jeweler would typically do it for a nominal fee, if not for nothing. You keep those copies in your safe at home or on your laptop. And you have that information to access. It's very important.
As soon as I say goodbye to you, I'm phoning my jeweler.
Yes, and your insurance company or your broker, that's the most important, is to say that I've had it revalued, please up my value.
One quick question further about the jewelry. So I need to take this off to my jeweler, and once I give this over to him, and the ring or the earring, whatever it is in his possession, and something were to happen to it on his premises, what is the technicality there?
It's the simple answer is, if you've got all risk insurance, you would be covered. But now, one step further, if we look at more expensive items, you would typically look at items over 25,000, even higher. most insurance companies have a requirement that you have to keep those items in a locked safe when not worn. So people get, I mean, we're all guilty of it. You come home, you take your rings off, you put it next to the sink because you wash your hands before you start working in the kitchen or whatever. And then those items just stay there. You go to bed at night, you forget to take it, and you have a burglary, and the items are stolen, and you actually don't have cover because it's not locked in the safe. That locked safe warranty would extend to your jeweler. So you must make sure that your jeweler locks away those items at night, or when they're not working on it, that it's in a safe place. So that's something else that would actually reflect on your policy schedule, that you have to read and make sure that you comply with those requirements.
I think what you're saying is hitting home for so many people, me included, the idea of taking off my wedding and engagement ring, putting it next to the bed, and forgetting about it sometimes for 2 days.
I have a great solution though. This is what I did, so it worked for me. You buy these little electronic safes at big stores like Game and Macro. So as I come out of my car, out of my garage, into my scullery area, the first cupboard on the wall, I've had it installed there. My fiance did it, so you don't need anyone special to do it. Not that he's not special, he's very special, but you don't need a specific qualified person. And so every afternoon when I come home, it's an electronic safe. I put my code in, I put my jewelry, all my jewelry there, and I lock it, and I'm sorted until the next morning before I go out of the house again.
And you see it when you're walking out?
Yes, but you won't leave house without, your jewelry. So I'm used to that's where I put my items. So I really could, it's not expensive. It's 300-400 rand, if that. It could even be less to buy those little electronic safes. It's the small ones. You can put your cell phone and your jewelry and your wallet in it, and it's actually very safe, even if you have. Often these claims happen when you have people in the home. So people working in your home, whether it is builders or even your domestic employees on the property, would be enticed to want to take these items and just disappear. So if it's locked away, it's out of sight, it's out of, I often say we get so cross with people, working in your house, stealing your items. Think about the reality of that situation. You have people earning a few thousand rand a month, constantly being tested with very expensive items all around them. And maybe just taking that item will make sure that the child's school fees are paid. We don't know what the other side of so don't invite theft into your life. Make sure your items are locked away.